Are you prepared for this, motherfucker? Okay, people, welcome back to another Playday. You know me, I love a Playday. I've talked about it for a long time, doing smaller little Playdays more frequently. Hopefully, this is the start of that, because you'll notice that it's not the usual spread. It's not so much stuff that it's hard to get on camera. This is just a taste, because there's still stuff in there. In fact, at the end, I'll show you a couple things I'm working on for the next Playday. So keep that momentum going, hopefully. Whether it's me just doing some part swapping or some paint jobs, which I've been on to tear lately, I've been having some fun. Or I get online, order something, 3D print, somebody else's custom figure, whatever. Or go into the post office and somebody has sent me something and it's a surprise and I can't help it. That's my favorite. No matter what it is, it's just putting blood, sweat, and tears, tender loving care into something that you want to put out into the world, or just put on your shelf. I like showing all this stuff off, whether it's me or somebody else's work, but you may just paint it up. There's no wrong way of doing this, is what I'm trying to say. Let's start off with something simple, but oh so effective. I recently got the Marvel Legends Retro Wolverine in the X-Men 275 uniform, but the claws were terrible. I mean, a lot of Marvel Legends Wolverine claws are bad, but these, they wouldn't straighten out and fiddle. So I broke out the baggie of Can of Beam's metal claws. I think these are style 2 with the slight curve to them. All you have to do is pull out the factory claws, which are usually just stuck in there. You wiggle, tug, out. Then you heat up the hand and shove these in. Now there is a thickness to the metal that's going to cause kind of a spread to the claws, but I don't really mind. I kind of like the look of them, especially when they're even like this. Plus from the front, standing there like a badass, oh my god, it makes it so much better. You're talking to me, bub. You have to be careful though, because they are sharp. This is probably not even one of my top 10 uniforms for Wolverine, but because of those claws and this excellent head and just the overall figure as is, yeah, I really like it. Enough to order the 2-3 packs to go along with this to make the whole team. Boom, done. And then we move into something a little bit dumb. And remember I said dumb. Do not judge me. People have their opinions about the Hasbro Dungeons & Dragons Cartoon Classics figures. The articulation is limited in places, which is the whole reason I have this out right now. And then the overall look. It skews kind of away from the 80s cartoon into something like a modern update. And I understand all that. Hell, I agree with some of it, but it being a part of my childhood and a nice plastic representation of that, I like having it on the shelf. But you can't get them into a bow shooting position. You get the arm out and here. The elbows are singles, so it doesn't come up to a natural position. And here comes the dumb part, warning you. So I thought if I want to leave him in a shooting position, I could just Dremel the hell out of this elbow and have it bend up to go around the puffy sleeve up here. But what if I want to put it back in neutral position? Since it's a hinge and swivel, I can just turn it around and gouge the shit out of it. And yeah, that's super ugly. I haven't cleaned it up. But because of all that now missing plastic, I can get him to here. And it works so much better. It's not perfect, but I can only Dremel out so much plastic. And in the shooting position, you can't see any of the nastiness that I did to it. Now, that's not me justifying Hasbro's decisions on this figure. It should have been this far out of the package. It should have been a double elbow or something to allow this much movement. Maybe a swappable forearm, which I may do if I ever find one on super low clearance. Get it to where I can make that swappable. I can put this in if I want a bow shooting position, put the other one in if I want it just neutral. All I'm doing here is making the best of my situation with a character that I wanted on the shelf. That's it. I already shot a short on this, but I wanted to show the finished product a little bit better. Here's the Marvel Legends X-Men animated series Cyclops with the cell shading removed. Where there's still some in the deep recesses of the blues, but I was more worried about the yellows because that's what really stuck out. I used acetone, which is bad on plastic if you leave it on there too long. What I do is hit the spot I want to take paint off really quick with the acetone, and then follow it up with a wet paper towel. Get some water on it, get the acetone off. A lot of people are saying use isopropyl alcohol, and I may try that next time. Then I came along and hit it with my new favorite friend, Mr. Hobby Mr. Super Clear Matte. That takes off any shines. It makes all the sheens match up from head to toe. I just love the look of a figure after hitting it with this. Hell, a lot of figures anymore, when it has that shiny photoreal, makes them look sweaty, or there's an odd piece of plastic that's really reflective. Psh! Oh, baby. Like I said, there is a short out there that has gained some traction, and yeah, I get it. It looks like Conan O'Brien. More than half of the comments on that video is that Conan? Is that Conan O'Brien? Why does it look like Conan? He could host a late night talk show. And like I said, it took off, and so it hit a lot of, like, non-toy collecting people's feeds, I guess. So I also got comments of, hey, why don't you move out of your mom's basement? Do you have a more grown-up hobby? Why don't you go be miserable somewhere else? Because I like having fun with my figures. Keeping with the Mr. Hobby, Mr. Super Clear Matte, not a sponsor, I also doled down the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Halloween WereWookiee. Still a little shiny in places, I may hit it again. Because you gotta remember to shake the hell out of it. Even if you just used it an hour or two back, do it again. If you don't, it'll still seal it, but it's not as matte as it could be. So yeah, give it all you got. And while I was messing with it, I washed the armor and the straps and stuff. Just brings out the detail a little bit and darkens it down. It's not just a hunk of plastic on a Wookiee figure. Kind of gives it a realistic look. You know, as realistic as this gets. Plus, it wouldn't be a Playday without a Wookiee, right? Hell, I'm working on one for the next Playday. It's just an endless cycle. But I like them. Then there's a couple of heads I got from BigHeadStudios Customs on eBay. First up, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but here is Grizzly. I think I saw Shartimus do this a while back, and I thought, you know what, that's a good use for the Build-A-Figure Ursa Major body. It's a very muscular bear. It looks more like a dude in a suit. So why not make it a dude in a suit? I was planning on repainting the whole thing because I am terrible at matching colors, but I'm kind of proud of this. You can see it's a shade off from the body, but it's way closer than I expected. So I can still play with it. I can still move it around. And if you want to do the same, I base coated it with Vallejo Model Color Mahogany Brown. That comes out too purple, so I had to cut some red into it by doing an overlay of Master Series Paint Sunburned Flesh. When I was planning this, I went and bought like 5, 6, 7 new browns, thinking none of the browns I have look like this. And then it ends up being a skin tone that I've had sitting around for a long time. And then for the shading, right here a little bit, inside the ear, down the middle of the head, I used Vallejo Leather Brown. And I dry brush that a little bit on the brush, wipe it on a paper towel until there's just barely paint, and then swipe until it shades down just slightly. And the kick-ass thing about this, it's 2 pieces, so you can paint it separate. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm getting skin tone on the fur or getting fur on the skin. You paint this, you put it together, you're done. I hate painting pupils and stuff, and the eyebrows. Those are my weaknesses, but not too bad here. But my real reason for ordering head sculpts on eBay was this. The Brood is just scary, and Wolverine being infected is such an iconic look. And I realized that cover was green tinted, and statues we've gotten since then has the green coming down, and then it's turning the neck all veiny and green, and it's coming down the arms. But inside the actual issue, it was more just like some brown. Plus, I'm no sculptor, so I left the neck as it is, and then just did a quick brown swipe down here. I punched in the vein just to have that stand out a bit, like he's kind of transforming, but this was the centerpiece. This is what I wanted. The teeth with the gums are separate pieces, so again, I could come in, punch in the blacks, the browns for the skin tone. That orange, it's not quite matching that, but it's close enough. I could paint all the red inside the mouth, and then paint the teeth and the gums, glue it in, and I'm done. I like that the mask looks like it's torn away too. The Brood mouth just popping through. Also, when I sealed it, I just went ahead and sprayed the whole body with Mr. Hobby Mr. Super Clear. Dulled down that plastic sheen. I love the look of that brown now. Then I came back with floor wax and glossed up the eyes and the mouth. Give it that wet look. And yeah, I have it in this pose, but I can straighten it all back out. All I did was seal it, and then if I want them standing there, boom. But like I said, that cover pose is just so iconic. So on the shelf, It'll be like this, along with some Marvel Select Brood, because they're scary. I always forget how good these look until I pick them back up and, oh, ugh. Not only is it a good day because it's a play day, it's also a new Beef Boss variant day. I love this. My best good friend DisThunder sent this to me, and he knows what I like. This is obviously a Star Wars K2SO underneath, and then a Two-Face suit. Not Mezco, this is more 8-inch scale because it fits this K2SO. Still got the condiments on the hip, has the French fry backpack, and then of course the Beef Boss head, looking all sinister. He's been down in the mud and the blood and the beer. Oh, and that Terminator eye to go along with all the other robotics. He's even put some shoes down on the bottom. This pants leg is just hanging. Got some string or wire running up and around. It's also coming around the arm. And then everything's dirty. Why is he wearing a Two-Face suit? Maybe Beef Boss was cosplaying and he fell into a portal into the future and got terminated, and then got sent back because this is how Skynet thought humans were at this time. I'm just a normal human. So what is this gonna be? Beef Bot? B1000? I've got Beef Boss. I've got Beef Bosk. Got Beef Roth, the undead condiment symbiote. Things are gonna get weird. And now Beef Bot. The universe grows, and I couldn't be happier. Then from Dark Castle Customs, here is a 3 3/4 inch Omega, completely 3D printed. Very, very nice. And I really, really appreciate it, even though I don't do a lot of 3 3/4 inch. But this was the other figure in the package. This is a 1/12 Black Series scale Ziro the Hutt. Completely 3D printed. Everything is raised and then painted. Got the design work on the belly, running up to under the mouth. Got the eyes, got the tongue. It is articulated, twists at the waist, and then the arms can up and down and out. And the rings on the tail are also separate pieces. To top it off, there's also this crown thing that just sits right there and works great next to Jabba. And now we need to size Snoodles, besides trying to put together the Jabba band. Got a straight piece of styrofoam right there. That is not a nick in the paint, that's the packing. This was one of those surprise P.O. box packages that I got home and I messed around and then I came back, opened it up, and whoa. And there you go, another play day. And as we always say, any day that you can play is a good day. I'm sticking with it. I know it's too many days in a sentence, but if you want to check out other people's customs or pick something up, all the links are in the description. Go show them some love because people deserve it. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. If you buy figures and you just keep them in the box, that's fine. Put them on the shelf, that's fine. Tear them up, that's fine. We're just trying to have fun. Don't let anybody try to tear you down for enjoying your hobby. Just have fun. If you enjoyed this playday, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus if you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But no matter where you're watching this, I will always catch you on the Fwoosh. A little sneak peek of the next playday, I'm working on another Wookiee. It just happens to be Chewbacca. Black Series body, Diamond Select head. I just like their proportions once I pop this together. But I've got to make the paint job match, and right now, it's got a gold tint to it, almost greenish. I need to come in and darken the correct spots, the top of the head, the shoulders, the upper arms, and the upper legs. Oh, and dull it down, probably with some Mr. Hobby, Mr. Super Clear. Also, I was sent this Johnny 5 3D print, but it was all in pieces, so I'm slowly working my way through putting it together. So far, so good. Got a couple more pieces to attach, and then break out the silver. And then dull it down with some Mr. Hobby,